a gentle hush spread across the internet when whispers emerged that Elon Musk, the tech mogul behind Tesla, SpaceX, and all kinds of cutting-edge ventures, had something mysterious to share. It was unlike his typical business announcements or futuristic predictions. This time it was personal and spiritual. Rumors hinted he had experienced a revelatory dream, one that apparently involved an encounter with Jesus. But how did we get here? And why is this story causing such a stir? Musk's life has always been a fascinating combination of high-profile corporate maneuvering and private moments of introspection. Born in Pretoria, South Africa, he exhibited a flair for engineering feats from a young age. Over the years, the public has grown accustomed to seeing headlines about his wildly ambitious projects, reusable rockets, electric cars that drive themselves, and plans to colonize Mars. Less common, though, are revelations concerning his spiritual or philosophical perspectives. Whenever Elon Musk shares a piece of his inner world, the entire globe seems to pause and listen. But there's another layer that's become part of Musk's story: controversy. While some revere him as a visionary genius, others question his tactics and decisions. From the heated debates over worker conditions at Tesla factories to the complicated narratives about Twitter, where Musk has been both an active user and, at times, a center of controversy. He is no stranger to pushback. With any mention of his name, you can expect polarizing opinions. Some see him as a modern-day Thomas Edison, while others highlight the risk in his sometimes impulsive tweets and the unpredictable shifts in his company policies. In the midst of these polarizing discussions, a rumor circulated about a pivotal dream that allegedly shook Musk's worldview. Leaks suggested that it occurred during a tense period, maybe around the time he was juggling SpaceX's ambitious Starship tests, Tesla's production deadlines, and the swirling chatter around his personal life. Musk has always seemed to thrive under pressure, but apparently even he can be surprised by events that seem to transcend the material realm. Initial reports said he awakened one night with a profoundly vivid recollection of meeting Jesus in an otherworldly setting. Skeptics rolled their eyes, fans leaned in to hear more, and the internet burst with theories. Had this dream reshaped Musk's view on religion? Was it a symbolic reflection of his stress levels or a genuine message from a divine source? It didn't help that around the same time, Musk had made cryptic references on social media about having deeper insights to share. Many followers connected these vague statements to the rumored dream. Suddenly, forums and Twitter threads were aflame with speculation. Certain observers found it ironic, the man so deeply involved in cutting-edge science now speaking of a supernatural encounter. Others expressed excitement, seeing it as a sign that technology and spirituality don't have to be at odds. The setting of the dream, as described by early leaks, was intriguing. A dark, dense forest, perhaps symbolizing a journey through the unknown. A faint glow that led him to a clearing. And there, the figure of Jesus, bathed in radiant light, delivering a simple yet resonant message about moral living, humility, and aligning one's actions with a higher purpose. It was said that the voice he heard was gentle, encouraging, and even instructional, as if calling him not just to reflection, but to action. Needless to say, this alleged encounter triggered fascination. Some insisted it was a hoax crafted by tabloids, while others insisted it was 100% real. A handful of devout individuals claimed this was the reason Musk had recently toned down some of his more brash public statements. Meanwhile, critics dismissed it as an elaborate publicity stunt. Could Musk have been testing a new AI-driven dream recording device? The conjectures were endless. Yet Musk himself remained mostly silent at first, until finally he acknowledged the swirling talk and confirmed, albeit cryptically, that he had experienced something profound. His comments only fanned the flames of curiosity. People wondered if his new perspective would be woven into the fabrics of his ventures. Would Tesla now incorporate spiritual ethics in production decisions? Would SpaceX's interplanetary missions also carry a philosophical, even theological dimension? At this juncture, the most pressing question was, what exactly did Jesus reveal to Musk, and how would it impact his future plans? The curiosity surrounding this encounter was growing exponentially. Friends, foes, and casual observers were on the edge of their seats. And even though we may not have all the answers yet, one thing was certain. Elon Musk's journey had taken an unexpected turn, and the world was eager to learn more about it. Before we delve deeper, let's remember that these are not one-dimensional events. Elon Musk's life is a tapestry of achievements, controversies, triumphs, and personal trials. Adding a spiritual thread to that tapestry makes it even more compelling. But there's much more to explore, so let's continue this unfolding story and see how it all connects to Musk's mission to transform technology and possibly our collective future. The big question that intrigued fans was this: why would Jesus appear in a dream to one of the most forward-thinking minds in technology? The leaked stories painted this vision as a life-altering revelation. According to those who claim to have insider information, it wasn't merely a comforting dream or a passing fantasy. Instead, it was an encounter that challenged Musk's entire worldview. Let's step back and explore Musk's historical stance on spirituality. For years, he'd been vocal about the importance of science, logic, and data-driven decisions. Quotes from earlier interviews suggest that while Musk never vehemently denied the possibility of a higher power, he was reluctant to attach himself to any specific faith or religious belief. He was the quintessential tech entrepreneur, bridging theoretical physics with everyday engineering, always pushing the boundaries of what humans can accomplish. So when rumors of a spiritual transformation surfaced, many were taken aback. Reports from individuals close to Musk say that on the night of this fabled dream, he had spent a particularly long day involved in parallel crises, finalizing something about the latest Tesla autopilot software, while also monitoring a critical SpaceX rocket test. Some claim he barely slept, lying awake wrestling with existential questions about humanity's survival, colonizing Mars, and the ethics behind artificial intelligence. Was it just exhaustion fueling his subconscious with vivid images, or was there a divine hand guiding his thoughts that night? Those who believe in the authenticity of the encounter point to Musk's subsequent behavior. He started referencing moral responsibility more openly. In a press conference about self-driving cars, for instance, he spoke about ensuring not just safety, but ethical considerations, remarking that technology should align with the betterment of all humanity, not just the bottom line. While that might sound like standard corporate talk, his tone was different, more earnest, more reflective. Meanwhile, skeptics proposed alternative theories. Some said that Musk could be engaging in spiritual marketing, capturing a new demographic of viewers. They pointed out how certain public figures occasionally evoke religion or spirituality to broaden their appeal. Others believed it was Musk's comedic side at work, trolling the media by dropping cryptic hints and watching the frenzy unfold. The alleged content of the dream added fuel to the fervor. Supposedly, Jesus' words underscored compassion and humility in the face of cosmic vastness, reminding Musk that for all our technological prowess, humans remain spiritually interconnected. Another rumored aspect was a cautionary note on the ethical traps of controlling advanced technologies. From mass data collection to the real possibility of AI overshadowing human values, the dream message urged a mindful approach. Whether you interpret this as a typical moral statement or a direct revelation from the spiritual dimension, it resonates with global debates on responsible tech. And there's more. Some unverified claims suggested that Jesus foretold of global shifts, disruptions in politics, economic changes, and an upcoming wave of transformation that would center on renewed ethical principles. The year 2024 popped up in conversation threads with references to miracles or significant breakthroughs that might unfold in everyday homes rather than traditional religious venues. People also drew parallels to certain biblical passages discussing revelations in the last days, conjuring images of prophecy. Suddenly, new talk about Musk's potential involvement in philanthropic endeavors gained momentum, especially with speculation about him funding humanitarian projects behind the scenes. The reaction from Musk's legion of supporters was predictably split. One faction embraced the dream wholeheartedly, calling it an epiphany in the vein of historical figures who changed the world after spiritual awakenings. Another faction, more cynical, posted memes about tech bros meeting God. Even within faith communities, opinions diverged. Some welcomed Musk's alleged revelation as a sign that science and religion can coexist, that a world so reliant on technology can still find room for divine wonder. Others feared this might be a passing fascination, overshadowed by Musk's next big rocket launch or electric truck unveiling. What is undeniable is the surge in conversations about spirituality in the tech sphere. More and more innovators from Silicon Valley to global startup hubs are weighing the moral implications of AI, robotics, and data. Musk's rumored encounter might be prompting these dialogues, or maybe it's a reflection of deeper societal concerns already in motion. Regardless, it shows how one visionary's personal experiences, real or perceived, can ignite a broader debate about the soul of technology. At this point, the swirl of rumors, leaks, and partial confirmations from Musk's circle has turned this story into a veritable puzzle. What exactly did Jesus reveal to him? Could this experience be guiding Musk toward more ethically driven business decisions? Or is the entire affair a figment of speculation, cleverly orchestrated by Musk himself or fervent fans? We're only at the beginning of uncovering how faith, technology, and one man's dream might all intertwine. If anyone knows how to capitalize on intrigue, it's the internet. Online forums exploded with threads dissecting every facet of Musk's rumored dream. Twitter hashtags trended around phrases like Musk encounter, tech and faith, and divine innovation. People who'd never thought twice about theological matters found themselves scrolling through biblical references in an attempt to see if Musk's alleged vision matched any classic scriptural patterns. Interestingly, a faction of fans began drawing parallels between Musk's dream and famous biblical figures who received revelations in the wilderness. Another group said the forest imagery could be a metaphor for Musk's labyrinthine career, fraught with impossible tasks, overshadowed by the enormity of his goals, but ultimately illuminated by a guiding light. Talk of a spiritual artifact bestowed upon him by Jesus also gained traction. Some speculated it might be purely symbolic, a representation of a moral compass or a call to philanthropic endeavors. Meanwhile, credible commentators pointed to Musk's philanthropic track record. While overshadowed by his more public achievements, it does exist. He's donated to science education, renewable energy research, and even made significant contributions to solve water crises. Could his dream be a catalyst for more robust charitable programs? Some claim to have insider knowledge that Musk was preparing to launch a new foundation focusing on bridging the gap between ethical considerations and high-level innovation, though these remained rumors without official confirmation. Another angle that gained traction was how this alleged dream coincided with ongoing controversies. For instance, Musk's interest in Neuralink, the company developing implantable brain-machine interfaces, sparked heated ethical and moral debates long before the dream rumors. Critics insisted that merging the human mind with AI or advanced computer technology demands more than just scientific caution. It requires ethical frameworks that might be anchored in spiritual values. Could Musk's dream be a prompt from above to reconsider how fast we integrate AI into our daily lives? Detractors were quick to suggest a conspiracy theory that Musk's Jesus encounter was timed suspiciously to distract from regulatory scrutiny. Indeed, his companies frequently face investigations and intense public scrutiny, whether for rocket mishaps or allegations of worker rights issues. But this line of thought seemed tenuous. If Musk wanted a quick distraction, there might be simpler ways than floating a story about a supernatural event, unless he believed it would resonate on a massive scale, which, judging by the public's rapt attention, it did. Another storyline that emerged was the idea of Musk quietly meeting with religious leaders behind closed doors, possibly to glean their perspectives or to share his own spiritual revelations in a more intimate setting. Although unconfirmed, rumors circulated that a handful of high-profile pastors, rabbis, or priests had been invited to a closed-door conference in Austin or Los Angeles to discuss ethical frameworks for emerging technologies. Could Jesus' call to ethical living be inspiring Musk to consult with spiritual authorities on how to handle the moral weight of innovations like autonomous drones, AI-driven weapon systems, or gene editing. In a surprising twist, some corners of the internet started referencing the possibility that Musk's dream might overlap with quantum theories of consciousness. They connected his stated interest in simulation theory, the idea that reality could be a highly advanced computer program, to the notion of a divine programmer or a higher intelligence behind everything. This synergy of science and faith, they argued, might lead to the ultimate grand unification, spiritual truths validated by cutting-edge physics. As the rumor mill continued, Musk's own voice remained characteristically enigmatic. He'd occasionally drop cryptic tweets referencing higher guidance or moral code. In an interview snippet about sustainable energy, he pivoted unexpectedly to mention that once you realize we're all interconnected, you have to think carefully about every action you take. This might be standard philanthropic chatter, yet coming from the man who once championed purely rational solutions, it felt like a shift. Throughout these developments, debates raged on whether Musk was inching toward a new era of philanthropic or spiritual engagement, or if all this was an elaborate narrative woven by fans and opportunistic bloggers. Global discourse about the interplay between scientific innovation and moral responsibility soared to new heights. In a world grappling with climate change, social inequality, and dizzying technological leaps, perhaps Musk's rumored dream was a clarion call for broader introspection. If humanity is to catapult itself to Mars, we also need a robust sense of empathy and purpose to guide us. Yet, despite the theories, the fundamental puzzle piece still seemed missing. What precisely did Jesus say to him in that dream? According to tidbits gleaned from leaked chat logs and second-hand reports, the essence revolved around the concept that advanced technology without a profound moral foundation risks leading society astray. The message was rumored to be clear. Humility, compassion, and service to others must anchor every invention and corporate directive. A powerful takeaway indeed, whether one believes in the dream's divine origin or views it as a creative interpretation of Musk's subconscious. Up to this point, the conversation has largely focused on the implications of Elon Musk's alleged Jesus encounter. But let's rewind and really delve into the dream itself, how it supposedly unfolded. According to piecemeal leaks, Musk described the environment as a forest so thick and dark that he could barely see his own hands. The air felt dense with tension, yet there was also a sweet, subtle fragrance. That contradictory blend, anxiety and calm, seems to echo the challenges of his real life. An ever-expanding to-do list, constant media attention, and the burden of pioneering technology for humanity's future. Amid that eerie darkness, a faint glow pierced through from a distant patch of clearing. Musk followed it, stepping carefully over fallen branches and brushing aside clinging vines. As he approached, the radiance intensified, revealing a serene clearing bathed in a soft, inviting light. Standing at the center was the figure many interpret to be Jesus, described as neither the classic painting nor a modern reinterpretation, but something that evoked universal warmth and acceptance. The figure's voice, or presence, seemed to communicate directly to Musk's heart, bypassing the usual constraints of spoken language. Witnesses who claim to have heard Musk's account insist that the figure radiated not just light, but a profound sense of understanding, as if every concern Musk had ever harbored was laid bare. The swirling rumors say Jesus uttered words about the fragility of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming technological progress. He is said to have issued a reassurance that even in the uncharted territory of AI, space travel, and neural implants, there remains a guiding principle older than any invention: love. Love, or compassion, was reportedly emphasized as the bedrock for moral decision-making. The dream then escalated in intensity. Some accounts assert that flashes of futuristic scenarios appeared around Musk: cities on Mars, human-like AI robots, entire communities functioning on renewable energy. But in each scenario, there were glimpses of potential pitfalls: AI misused for power, oppressive systems emerging from well-intentioned software, divisions among people who failed to empathize with each other. According to the rumor, Jesus gestured to these scenes, wordlessly conveying the importance of anchoring all advancements in a higher moral code. Then, as swiftly as the visions appeared, they dissipated. At the dream's climax, the figure allegedly handed Musk a small, glowing object. Described ambiguously in these rumors, it might be anything from a simple ring to a cube or even a book of sorts. Rather than a typical religious relic, it seemed to be a symbol of spiritual responsibility, something to remind Musk daily that with great innovation comes great accountability. This mysterious item, so the theories go, vanishes when unobserved, only to reappear when Musk contemplates moral dilemmas, acting as a literal and metaphorical guiding light. There's talk that this portion of the dream aligns with biblical references, like the Ark of the Covenant, or certain New Testament passages on receiving divine gifts. Whether you interpret it literally or as a psychological motif, the effect is the same. A prompting for Musk to re-evaluate his place in the cosmic narrative, no longer just the guy wanting to send rockets to Mars, but perhaps a caretaker of humanity's trajectory through uncharted waters. What if this dream is reflective of an internal crisis Musk has faced for years? The weight of investor demands, public scrutiny, and the race against time to solve Earth's looming crises might have brewed a sense of existential dread. The dream, then, would serve as a manifestation of that burden, with the figure of Jesus representing a moral beacon urging him not to lose sight of humanity's collective soul in the quest for progress. Another interpretation is that this dream gave him the reassurance he needed, that he is not alone, that if he aligns with moral and compassionate principles, his grand ambitions could serve not only technological evolution, but spiritual evolution, too. Naturally, critics rolled their eyes at the notion of Jesus appearing like a cameo in someone's dream. Yet, religious or not, it's hard to deny the potency of a moral epiphany, especially for someone so influential. If Musk indeed experienced something that recalibrated his worldview, the ripple effects could be colossal. We might see new policies at his companies, philanthropic projects, or a more conscientious approach to the integration of AI in everyday life. Alternatively, if this encounter fades in significance or was overblown by gossip, we might see business as usual at Tesla and SpaceX, with Musk continuing to push the boundaries of what's possible, unconstrained by moral panic. Either way, the tapestry of rumors is large enough to captivate all types of audiences: those who champion science, those who lean toward spirituality, and those simply drawn to real-life drama. For many, the forest setting and luminous figure offer a cinematic quality, the kind of imagery that lingers in the mind long after the story ends. Could this dream become a cultural touchstone, further merging faith-based perspectives with high-tech aspirations? The thought alone continues to fuel the fervor. Despite the speculation, one critical question hovers: will Musk himself confirm or deny these intricate details? So far, the glimpses he's offered remain cryptic. Perhaps in the near future, he'll give a thorough interview or even pen a personal essay, explaining how a dream influenced his next steps. Until then, the rest of us stand witness to a story that's as mesmerizing as it is uncertain, one that stirs up discussions about the synergy between faith, ethics, and the unstoppable momentum of technology. Elon Musk's public persona has always thrived on pushing limits, be it launching the first private spacecraft to dock with the International Space Station or unveiling a sleek electric car that redefined the auto industry. Yet these feats, impressive as they are, pale in comparison to the possibility that he's now venturing into uncharted spiritual territory. If the dream has indeed reshaped his perspectives, how might that influence the near-future roadmaps for his companies and even the tech industry at large? One key area to scrutinize is Neuralink. From its inception, Neuralink has been embroiled in heated debates about mind-machine interfaces. Critics argue that bridging brains and computers poses risks like privacy violations, potential manipulations of free will, and an erosion of what it fundamentally means to be human. If Musk truly had a Jesus-inspired epiphany, it could motivate him to impose stricter ethical guidelines on Neuralink's research. Imagine the possibility of a new form of oversight. Perhaps an independent ethics panel with a diverse mix of spiritual leaders, ethicists, and scientists, ensuring that developments align with moral imperatives. Similarly, Tesla might also undergo subtle shifts. While the company is largely lauded for accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy, controversies linger. Former employees have raised concerns about the pace of manufacturing, safety protocols, and the pressure cooker environment on assembly lines. Could a newly introspective Musk push for improved working conditions, more robust mental health support, or even philanthropic partnerships tied to Tesla's success? A dream about compassion might well translate into a more employee-centric culture. Over at SpaceX, the pursuit of colonizing Mars is both exhilarating and nerve-wracking. Some argue that focusing on an interplanetary future can distract from urgent issues on Earth, while others see it as a vital backup plan for humanity's survival. If Jesus' message was about unity and compassion, perhaps SpaceX will champion a spirit of international collaboration, inviting more countries and organizations to contribute ideas and resources. Rather than a nationalistic or purely commercial endeavor, it could become a global mission weaving moral considerations into the blueprint for life on another planet. Outside of Musk's immediate circle, the rumored encounter might spur a shift in how other tech magnates operate. We live in a world where billionaires direct massive resources toward everything from pharmaceuticals to media influence. A high-profile, spiritual awakening could inspire others to adopt more transparent ethics or explore philanthropic avenues that tackle not only physical needs, but also intangible aspects of human fulfillment. Critics will always question the sincerity of such moves, yet the conversation about moral responsibility and innovation is undeniably growing louder. Not to be overlooked is the fan community that orbits Musk's every word. Known for their unwavering support, these devotees create viral memes, defend him in debates, and often see him as a visionary figure akin to a real-life Marvel hero. How does a spiritual dimension amplify that perception? Some fans might interpret the Jesus dream as confirmation that Musk is divinely guided to lead humanity forward. Others might approach it with caution, hoping the new perspective doesn't slow down the breakneck pace of announcements and big promises. Meanwhile, traditional religious communities are finding new reasons to engage with these developments. Panels at churches and theological universities have started discussing the integration of faith-based ethics in the sphere of AI and space travel. Christian scientists, theologians, and ethicists question if Musk's possible shift will open doors for dialogue about how religious teachings can inform scientific progress. Could this mark a stepping stone toward bridging perceived gaps between science and religion? Of course, not everyone welcomes the conversation. Die-hard rationalists might roll their eyes at any mention of supernatural influence, insisting that technology should remain purely in the domain of measurable data and pragmatic implementation. They warn against letting spiritual beliefs muddle strategic decision-making, pointing out that a dream, no matter how vivid, cannot override validated research methods. Yet, as these debates rumble on, Musk's allegory about receiving a moral artifact in his dream stands as a potent symbol. If a real transformation is underway, we might see new philanthropic endeavors, more robust employee well-being programs, and broader coalitions tackling global problems with a newly awakened sense of collective empathy. Or we may see very little change if the dream, assuming it's even real, turns out to be overshadowed by the pressing demands of share prices, rocket timetables, and quarterly earnings. In a sense, the story of Musk's encounter with Jesus straddles the boundary between the known and the unknown, the tangible and the intangible. It forces us to question where moral vision fits into a world so rapidly shaped by algorithmic intelligence and cosmic ambitions. Does divine revelation have a place in the boardroom? Can faith speak to the future of AI? And most pressingly, can a single dream influence the trajectory of one of the world's most influential figures, enough to alter the course of technology itself? At this point in our story, you might be wondering if there's any hard evidence to support this dream narrative. After all, Musk is known for backing up claims with data. Just look at how he pitches Tesla's range improvements or SpaceX's rocket reusability with charts, statistics, and prototypes. But a personal spiritual experience doesn't fit neatly into a spreadsheet or a presentation deck. This tension between the quantifiable and the ineffable is part of what makes the rumor so enthralling. It's worth noting that Musk has a history of making surprising statements. Remember his tweets about taking Tesla private, or his spontaneous appearances on podcasts, where he shared unfiltered thoughts about the future of energy, AI, or the colonization of Mars. Despite his penchant for bold remarks, he's also strategically private about personal matters. Even his relationships and familial details sometimes surface only when absolutely necessary or inadvertently leaked. So, the chance that he might open up candidly about a dream featuring Jesus is equal parts unlikely and yet completely plausible. He's always had a flair for the unexpected. Observers have attempted to piece together a timeline. When exactly did the dream happen? Some guess it was in the midst of one of Tesla's heated production hell phases. Others suspect it coincided with a major rocket launch, suggesting that stress or insomnia could have triggered unusually vivid dreams. Another theory is that he experienced a medical procedure or used some new sleep-hacking technology, perhaps inadvertently sparking a vivid spiritual or hallucinatory episode. The speculation runs wild because for every question answered, two new ones arise. Amid these swirling uncertainties, Musk's measured silence has generated even more headlines. The fact that he hasn't outright denied the dream's content might indicate there's some kernel of truth. But, as always, silence can be interpreted in many ways. Maybe he's letting the rumor percolate, enjoying the buzz without confirming or denying anything. Or maybe the experience was so meaningful, so personally profound, that he prefers not to lay it bare to the world just yet. And here's a quick reminder. If you're intrigued by these insights and want to keep the conversation alive, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and consider leaving a comment or using the Super Thanks feature. Join this incredible community of curious minds. Together, we'll keep exploring the intersection of faith, technology, and the human experience. There's also the question of what place Jesus holds in Musk's worldview specifically. His prior public statements about religion were somewhat agnostic. He'd flirted with the idea that existence might be a simulation, which some interpret as a secular stand-in for the concept of a higher power. A sudden pivot toward Christian imagery and moral codes would be a stark contrast to that stance. Yet Musk's intellectual curiosity often leads him to read widely, conversing with thought leaders from diverse backgrounds. Perhaps he's gleaned fragments from various spiritual traditions, culminating in a dream that manifested as a biblical vision. Alternatively, maybe the dream was purely Christian in its symbols but universal in its message. And let's not forget the broader context, a growing global interest in the synergy between religion and science. Technological leaps spark existential questions. AI might one day surpass human intelligence. How do moral and ethical guidelines keep pace? Space travel raises the possibility of encountering new forms of life or colonizing new worlds. What spiritual lessons do we bring into these frontiers? Musk's purported dream of Jesus can be interpreted as a microcosm of this larger tension. It prompts us to marry the scientific pursuit of the unknown with a moral compass that transcends scientific formulae. Yet for every fan delving into theological speculation, there are also online communities poking fun at the entire story, constructing memes of Jesus in a SpaceX suit or joking about holy autopilot. This playful irreverence underscores how Musk's brand is so entangled with internet culture. If the dream is real, does the endless swirl of memes and jokes dilute its seriousness? Or does it amplify the reach of the underlying message, sprinkling it across corners of the internet that might otherwise never engage in a discussion about moral responsibility or spiritual insight? All the while, the big question persists: where does Elon Musk go from here? Will the person who's unafraid to challenge norms, from manufacturing to rocket engineering, now challenge norms in how leaders approach spiritual ethics? Or will he maintain the classic hustle, only occasionally dropping hints of a deeper moral reflection? As we move closer to unraveling the final layers of this puzzle, keep in mind that no single story can capture the full breadth of who Elon Musk is. We're dealing with a visionary, a provocateur, a scientific mind, and perhaps now a spiritual seeker. In the end, the legend of his alleged Jesus encounter might be less about factual details and more about the conversation it sparks, about hope, responsibility, and the longing for meaning in a rapidly shifting world. In the aftermath of this rumored dream, a new wave of speculation centers on how Musk's personal life has evolved. Has he adopted new daily rituals, prayer, meditation, or a reflective journal to internalize Jesus' message? Might he be quietly funding religious-based charities or meeting with spiritual leaders who can guide him in applying these revelations to his global business empire? Fans claim subtle clues exist. Some noticed that in a recent interview, Musk wore a necklace that looked suspiciously like a minimalist cross. In another instance, a short video circulated online in which Musk, typically known for his intense focus on data points, paused to reflect on the essence of being a good neighbor. While these observations may be anecdotal, they add to the sense that something has genuinely shifted in his inner world. Meanwhile, news headlines about Elon Musk continue to break at a rapid pace. One day it's about his attempt to build next-generation battery systems. The next, it's rumors about him stepping back from certain executive responsibilities to spend more time with family. Analysts who watch his moves in the stock market or keep tabs on his corporate decisions are left to wonder if they should factor in divine guidance when making forecasts about Tesla's or SpaceX's future. It sounds almost comedic. Wall Street trying to pass the spiritual inclinations of a tech CEO, but it highlights just how intricately Musk's personal brand is woven into his companies. We also see a global dimension to this phenomenon. In many cultures, dreams have long been considered a gateway to revelations or messages from beyond. The notion that a high-tech billionaire might be touched by a spiritual dream resonates with audiences in places like Latin America, Africa, and parts of Asia, where faith traditions remain deeply ingrained in daily life. Musk's rumored encounter thus transcends Western corporate culture, igniting dialogue on talk shows and social media platforms worldwide. People are weighing in on whether this signals a broader shift, a rapprochement between unbridled innovation and time-tested spiritual values. A few contrarian voices maintain that if Musk truly had a message from Jesus, something urging moral responsibility, he might actively address global crises like poverty or climate change with more urgency. They challenge him to divert a significant chunk of his wealth toward charitable efforts. After all, if the dream message was about humility and love, wouldn't Musk demonstrate those virtues in a visible, quantifiable way? While we don't know what philanthropic projects he may be quietly backing, critics push for transparency, arguing that a spiritual epiphany should lead to more than vague talk and half measures. Others are concerned about the commercialization of faith. They worry that Musk's spiritual revelations might become entangled with brand-building efforts, a marketing angle rather than a genuine moral shift. We've seen how social media can distort intentions, turning even sincere acts into spectacle. In a world where influencers monetize everything, from diets to mental health journeys, it's not unreasonable to be cautious. If Musk eventually releases a documentary or writes a best-selling book about his experience, will it be a testament to transformation or a convenient revenue source? All these debates and doubts only underscore the complexity of melding the sacred and the secular in the public eye. Musk's encounter, if genuine, invites each of us to reflect on the synergy between the material and the spiritual. If he can, weave ethics and humanity into the blueprint for tomorrow's technology. Perhaps we stand on the cusp of a revolution that's not just digital but deeply human. Even if you're a staunch skeptic, the interplay of visionary engineering and moral introspection is at least worth contemplating. By now, you might be sensing that what's truly compelling about this rumored Jesus encounter isn't whether it really happened in a literal sense, but rather how it serves as a mirror for our broader society. We live in a world of intense innovation where life-altering technologies emerge faster than we can ethically process them. Against that backdrop, a story about one of the era's foremost innovators receiving a transcendent moral call resonates on a profound level. Whether you revere Musk, critique him, or see him as an enigma, his potential shift toward deeper values echoes a collective yearning for guidance as we stand on the threshold of monumental change. And as we brace for the final revelations about this dream, it's worth remembering that the debate around Musk's ethics, ambitions, and personal character will continue. If anything, the alleged encounter with Jesus has only broadened the scope of that conversation, drawing in voices from every corner of the philosophical spectrum. It's a testament to the power of a single, dramatic rumor to spark widespread introspection about how we want technology and the society around it to evolve. As we reach the end of this journey, we find ourselves on the brink of multiple possibilities. Maybe Elon Musk's rumored encounter with Jesus was just that, a dream, or perhaps it was a genuine revelation that nudged him to envision a future where moral clarity stands side by side with scientific breakthroughs. In a world as interconnected and restless as ours, the line between personal belief and global impact can be startlingly thin. A single transformative moment in one individual's life can ripple outward, affecting millions or even billions, if that individual happens to command the resources and influence that Musk does. For those seeking more direct answers, the puzzle remains partially unsolved. Musk hasn't held a press conference to disclose the exact words Jesus spoke to him in that surreal forest, nor has he posted a bullet-point summary of divine directives on Twitter. Yet in the subtle shifts of his discourse, his growing emphasis on ethics, compassion, and responsibility, some interpret glimpses of that hidden experience. Whether you believe this dream is literal truth or interpret it as a powerful parable, the idea stands firm. Technology alone isn't enough to guide humanity forward. We need a moral compass, a sense of empathy, and a willingness to serve something greater than our own ambitions. In many ways, the broader drama unfolding around this story is a reminder that progress can't be measured solely in lines of code or rocket altitude. Spiritual insight, be it rooted in religion, philosophy, or personal revelation, could shape the direction of our most audacious inventions. If there's any overarching lesson here, it's that no matter how advanced our machines become, we're still profoundly human, seeking purpose and meaning in a universe that often feels far too large. So what's next? Some insiders suggest that Musk might author a reflective piece or documentary once he's processed the event fully. Others predict he'll continue innovating at breakneck speed, occasionally dropping thoughtful nods toward the need for a higher ethical grounding. Meanwhile, society at large remains both spellbound and skeptical, watching to see if this rumored encounter produces tangible changes in corporate policy, philanthropic outreach, or even government legislation. There's a chance 2024, mentioned repeatedly in various rumors, could be a year of global transformations, aligning with Jesus' prophetic words in the dream. Or it could pass quietly, with little more than fleeting speculation. Ultimately, this conversation, like all great mysteries, leaves room for every perspective. From hardcore skeptics to devout believers, from curious agnostics to spiritual explorers, everyone has a seat at the table. The alleged meeting of minds, Elon Musk and Jesus Christ, symbolizes a fusion of the modern and the ancient, the high-tech and the timelessly sacred. If we peel away the celebrity sheen, we're left with a simple yet profound question. How do we ensure that our technological leaps don't outpace our moral wisdom? And with that, we conclude this deep exploration into Elon Musk's rumored encounter with the divine. Regardless of how much truth lies in the dream's specifics, the story itself resonates with something all of us grapple with, the quest for significance in a rapidly evolving world. Let's hope that in the ongoing balance between progress and principle, we find ways to harness innovation for the collective good, guided by the light of empathy and compassion. Thank you for journeying with us through this fascinating narrative. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and consider leaving a comment or a super thanks if you found value in this deep dive. Joining this community helps us continue bringing you in-depth stories and uncovering the nuances behind today's biggest headlines. We appreciate your support more than you know. Stay tuned for our next piece, where we'll explore yet another remarkable intersection of modern life and timeless wisdom. See you in the next video.